Hey guys, Level Cap here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming. Apex Legends is getting a new map called World's Edge. It was revealed in the Season 3 Meltdown cinematic launch trailer. An actual gameplay trailer was released ahead of schedule yesterday. Based on the trailer, it looks like the map has a variety of biomes. The map features what looks like an erupting volcano, a winter climate, and hot springs area that look almost tropical. A moving train is also featured in the trailer that players can use to ride around the map and even fight on. A new hero called Crypto, being introduced with Season 3, is also featured heavily in the trailer. He has an ultimate ability that sends out surveillance drones, letting him see the map from above. The new charge rifle weapon is also featured. Holding the fire button charges up a high damage shot from the gun. Based on the trailer, the path of the shot has a pre-fire tracer that's visible to all players. That sounds like it could make it a pretty high risk, high reward style weapon. There also seems to be a ton of new cosmetics that are actually pretty good looking this time. Season 3 is shaping up to be a big moment for Apex. Season 2 actually added a lot of cool new features to reignite hype for the game, but it did quickly lose steam. Adding a new map, hero, and weapon to the game all at once is sure to get that hype train rolling once again. Call of Duty Modern Warfare single-player trailer is here. It gives us a pretty decent look at what the campaign might be like. Captain Price is featured heavily as one of the many characters you'll fight alongside. The story revolves around terrorists stealing chemical weapons and using them in an attack on London. You'll travel there to the Middle East and other locations across the world tracking down the stolen chemical weapons. While the story isn't really all that interesting for a somewhat standard military FPS campaign, the visuals are quite stunning. Modern Warfare is quickly shaping up to be the best looking Call of Duty game in a long time. The game's recent crossplay beta also broke franchise records as the most downloaded beta in the history of Call of Duty. It also broke the record for the highest number of hours played and peak concurrent player count for all platforms combined. Clearly, the beta was very successful and got fans excited for Modern Warfare's release next month. Unfortunately, it's not all sunshine and rainbows for the game. Analysis of the beta by YouTuber and netcode wizard Battle Nonsense has revealed some potential issues with the game's networking. The beta ran on dedicated servers, which is nice. It also ran at a respectable 62 Hz tick rate, also known as the amount of updates per second. However, this tick rate only applies to modes with 20 players or less. In the 64-player Ground War mode, the update rate drops to 24 Hz. The delay for actions like firing your gun and moving was measured as fairly high compared to similar titles, and again, Ground War makes those delays noticeably worse. In simple terms, the game's network performance is a downgrade from Black Ops 4, which is already in a not great state. Check out the video by Battle Nonsense for the full story, it's linked in the description. Finally, Activision announced a Special Ops survival mode that will be exclusive to the PlayStation 4 version of Modern Warfare for 1 year. The announcement drew outrage from players who feel it's unfair and goes against the whole concept of the game having crossplay. The Special Ops mode has many sub-modes, of which survival is just one, so players on all platforms will still have access to most of the Special Ops content. Still, this is a pretty dirty tactic and probably the first of what I fear could be many. The Last of Us Part 2 finally has a release date. It launches on February 21st, 2020 exclusively for PlayStation 4. The date was announced in a new trailer that gives some hints at the game's overall story. You'll play the game as Ellie this time. She's out for revenge against another group of survivors. As for multiplayer, the factions mode from the first game won't be returning for Part 2. Fans celebrated the PvP mode as a solid addition to The Last of Us, but Naughty Dog are focusing their efforts on single player for now. They previously announced multiplayer would return for Part 2, but the announcement makes it sound like they're spinning it off on either its own game or something entirely new. A new trailer for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was released. It shows off some epic-looking boss fights and introduces the game's villain, the Second Sister. The trailer and the extended gameplay reveal at EA Play looked promising, but didn't offer much insight into what the game was actually about. It also didn't showcase any major confrontations or boss fights. Fallen Order launches on November 15th for all platforms. Battlefield 5's 4.6 update is here and finally adds Al Sindan for conquest and breakthrough game modes. It also rebalances pistols to be a bit more effective, adds some nice quality of life UI elements, and fixes a bunch of bugs. Overall, it's a solid patch and delivers a pretty good map, but there are some new bugs and DAYZ are already looking into it. EA Access subscribers on Xbox One will get disconnected from a match if they hit the Xbox One button on their controllers. It's a weird issue that should be addressed with a hotfix soon. The squad reinforcement vehicles on Al Sindan are also misconfigured, so the wrong factions have the wrong vehicles and stuff like that. It also appears that you can call in 3 Sturm Tigers through a weird bug, which definitely needs to be addressed. Performance issues on Al Sindan also seem to be common for many players. There's been no official word yet on that. The patch also launches alongside news that the game's rental server program called Private Games has been delayed until Chapter 5. It will hopefully launch with the Pacific content this fall. DAYZ are kicking off Battlefest on October 3rd. It's similar to Tides of War in that players can complete challenges to unlock new weapons and items, but it won't have a chapter XP progression. So while you'll be unlocking new things every week, you probably won't also be earning XP towards additional unlocks. Data mining suggests many of these challenges will be focused on the upcoming Operation Underground map, so we could potentially see that map go live for the game on the 3rd. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds 4.3 update is live for PC players. It adds a survival mastery progression system that tracks basic gameplay stuff like revives, healing, landing zone, and more. As you play, you'll earn XP towards unique unlocks. The update also adds a new double-barrel shotgun, the DBS. It's a pump-action, close-quarters death machine of a gun, but you'll only find it in care packages for now. PUBG Lite is coming to European countries on October 10th. It was initially available in Thailand and is a bare-bones version of the game intended to be playable on low-end PCs and gaming laptops. Of course, PUBG Lite will have its own paid battle pass. It also includes an exclusive 4v4 mode set in a deserted warehouse. Data miners are saying Fortnite's Season 11 update might bring a new map to the game. Since launch, Epic have done a major update to the game's original map every season. They've altered pretty much every square inch of the map since launch, with many of the changes wiping out or rebuilding entire areas literally from the ground up. So while Fortnite has only ever had one map, it's gone through so many changes that it has felt like it's really gotten a new map. However, if there really is a full new map being added to the game, it would mean a big deal. Despite all the drastic changes the original map has seen at its core, it's still an open, rural countryside map. There's been no official word from the developers about a new map being added to Fortnite, so this is all speculation for now. Apex developers have also been hard at work on new VR titles for the Medal of Honor franchise. Called Above and Beyond, it's an Oculus exclusive World War II FPS title launching next year. The game's single-player campaign is the big focus of the game's trailer, but it'll offer some kind of multiplayer component. While the visuals don't look all that impressive, the controls for Above and Beyond look pretty interesting. One clip in the trailer shows the player literally pulling the pin out of a grenade with their teeth. DAYZ is getting a new map called Livonia. It's a huge countryside area being added to the game as paid DLC sometime soon, at least on the PlayStation 4. The official marketing for the map leaves us with a lot of questions. How much will it cost? When does it come to other platforms? Etc. However, for some of the things that we do know, the map is a reworked version of the same map from Arma 3's recent Contact expansion, and you'll also find grizzly bears on the DAYZ version. Despite some errors and issues, Ghost Recon Breakpoint Open Beta is currently live. Players can explore new content that wasn't available during the closed beta. It's currently scheduled to end sometime tomorrow, but may be extended due to delays at launch. The full game is out on October 5th. Bungie released a chart showing exactly what players get by downloading the free-to-play version of Destiny 2 on October 1st. Firstly, all players will start at a power level 750, which is pretty much required to enjoy the current endgame content. All players will be able to level to max power. There will be free seasonal ranks and rewards. All Year 1 exotics are included. Free roam will be available at all locations. PvP, strikes, Year 1 raids, and all in-game events are also included. As for expansion content, the chart lists 3 campaigns, 3 DLCs, and 3 additional modes. And as convoluted as all this seems, your best bet is to download the free-to-play version and buy the Shadowkeep expansion. The total price will be about $35 and should get you everything Destiny 2 has to offer. In our final story this week, Oculus has revealed a new feature called Quest Link, launching this November. It lets you run PC VR titles on the standalone Oculus Quest headset. All that's required is a USB-C cable to connect the Quest to your PC. It works by sending an ultra-low latency video feed of whatever game is running on your PC to the Quest. There are some concerns regarding latency and visual quality, but we'll have to wait for proper reviews on that. The bigger issue is that the Quest only has a 72 Hz panel. A good VR experience really requires at least 90 Hz to avoid motion sickness. So while lower refresh rates are fine for watching movies or playing casual games without a lot of motion, it might be a somewhat nauseating experience in most action-packed titles. Another cool feature coming to the Quest is hand tracking. There's no gloves or special controllers required. It's all done with the Quest's built-in camera and sensor system. Early reviews of the feature sound very promising. It does a great job of tracking all your fingers and gestures with low latency and good accuracy, but there still isn't wide support for the feature in games yet, so intuitive things like grabbing items and pressing buttons don't work. That said, it's clearly a big step in the right direction for VR titles and will likely be well supported when it launches early next year. And that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if there's any articles or stories you think we might have missed or you found interesting in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. This is Levelcast.